Yo, bro. What's going on? Yeah, I'm on. And why is that headset fucked up? Hold on. If you guys can hear me, make sure you say yo, yerp in the chat. Say what's up in the chat. Make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me? You can hear me? This person keeps spam calling me right now. Jesus. Hold on, this is not right. Hold on. Let's make sure you guys can hear me here. Can you guys hear me?
Open 24/7.
Hello.
Oh,
Yes.
this is the Furry Finboys hotline. Open.
Investigator Robinson speaking. Who's speaking? God, can't wait till these kids go back to school. MAGA followers react to what he says and not look at what, Bill? What are you saying, Bill? I don't know what Bill is saying. What, Bill? Melanie, thank you for the jewels or whatever. Appreciate it. Let me put out that I'm live here. You think MAGA still exists? You think MAGA still exists, folks? Or is it just bottom of the fucking barrel? Or is this the calm before the storm during the midterms? You know the midterms will get a little crazy. Nice. Nice, nice. Said what? Does MAGA still exist? Mike Cross, why don't you call in 908-652-3703? Don't be scared to call in. I mean, I think that Trump supporters are embarrassed to admit they support Trump. That's basically my take. That is basically my take. Should I put let me see. Move this over a little bit. Add something here. I'll do Kamala was better. You guys agree with that? Kamala was better. I agree with that. Jarhead, says the abortion supporter. Jarhead, you're not allowed to talk about women's health care unless you've been with a woman, which you haven't. So you're not allowed to even speak it into existence. Have a good day. Yeah, $20 million is insane for the gloves. Yeah. Daniel, you're just scared to call in because you're embarrassed to admit your political position. You know Kamala Harris was better than Trump. That's why you're not calling the number. If you thought I was wrong, you'd call the number and tell me, but you know I'm right. You know I'm right. You know that Kamala Harris would have been better. You know that Trump sucked as president. And that's it. Period. Right? That's the deal, dude. Guys, we got to hit the thumbs up button and shit if you want me to do it. It's late, so we got to engage with the live. We're going to get the live on to the algae, you know what I'm saying? Daniel is drunk. No, I just think they're troglodytes, so, you know. Jarhead, you're scared to call in. We're over you, okay? You're scared. Your mother's health wastes. What? I can't even read what these people are trying to write. It's gotten so bad. Yes, Kamala Harris is better than Marco Rubio or JD Vance. Yes. So I know it's late as fuck, but I figured I'd come on and say what's up for a little bit at least. Ashley, are you serious, Ashley? Are you serious? Are you seriously saying Kamala would send us into a recession right now? As we're headed for a recession? Dear God. It's getting sad at this point. I almost feel kind of bad for you. I really do.
Call from
James Delarico.
James Delarico. What's going on?
Dear God. Yeah, Adam, I think last time we was on the phone we got
Nope, we
disconnected.
didn't. You got to stop calling. You're an obsessed fan. It's the same guy. Calls every time. As soon as I go live, no matter the hour. Look how late it is, and he's still the first person to call in. Like, holy fuck. Hear about Dean what?
call from
I'm calling your mom tomorrow. So we have a little kid and a grown man who lives with his mom calling in so far. Why do people keep asking me if I've heard about Dean? Like, why do people keep saying that? God, it's... I know that I 100% can guarantee that we'd be in a better position if Kamala Harris was president. Does anyone disagree? So, that's what I believe.
call from
Yes, hello.
Who's this?
Adam, you just called my YouTube channel.
What do you want?
You called me, forehead.
I don't know what your problem.
Jesus. Oh my God. A true believer. I don't know why you keep saying I'm high in the chat. I don't know if that's some kind of projection or something, or you think because of my opinion I'm high. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're the idiot, not me. Okay? Yeah, guys, I already know, like, that shit was so obviously fake. I'm not even sure why, like, it's being continued to be discussed. Like, I don't even understand why it's continued to being discussed. It's so obviously fake. Why are we even talking about it anymore? All right, Ashley, here's what we're going to do. If you don't call in, I'm going to mute you. So it's that simple. All right? If you don't call in, I'm going to mute you. Okie dokie. If you don't call in, I'm going to mute you. Okay? It's that simple. I know you're scared to call in and admit your support for Donald Trump. And I understand, right, that, you know, you're embarrassed by your support and you're jealous of those that voted for Kamala Harris. But Ashley, whether you type your name in caps or not, you're still insignificant. Tribal Chief, I'm not playing this game. I'll just mute you. I'm not interested in having conversations about something stupid. Okay? Not even worth my time addressing. Nor do I care about having discussions every time there's some kind of like experience in another creator's life. Oh, wow, he needs to sue for slanders. Yeah, that's good. Guys, we're moving on, okay? I mean, come on. It's so everyone knows it's fake. No one's giving it any credibility. It's a very obviously AI'd fucking photo. And Ashley, by the way, just out of curiosity, right? Do you like your channel is deeply disturbing? Jackbox Party 2 Smurf Puberty? Like your channel is deeply troubling. Like holy crap, dude. No, I won't let her stay. If she doesn't call in, I block her. If you don't call in, you're blocked. It's that simple. Bone 420 Bomber says a woman is something you'll never have. All right, Bone 420 Bomber, why don't you give a call in real quick? Let's hear about this take. I'm never going to have a woman. Let's hear it. Or are you too scared, Bone Bomber? Oscar says, it's so weird that people shame one another and have real hatred for their political choices. Oscar, President Trump is a fascist. Your take that people shouldn't be upset about that is not only weird, it means you're a simpleton. Okay? Let's read this question. Why is still a question if Trump is a bad prez after everything in the news about him that is transparent? Oh, God. I swear to God. It's honestly funny just reading like the comments and seeing how simple people are and how scared they are too to call in and say they still support Trump, because it's an embarrassing thing to say you support Trump at this point. I mean, supporting Trump at this point is just flat out embarrassing. Yeah, it's Smurf puberty or some bullshit. I don't know. Let's see who this caller is. Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, Adam, I just want to know why you keep hanging up on me.
You got to get a life. This isn't funny. People are laughing at you. You're pathetic. I'm just going to keep hanging up on you and just blocking the number. Like, you do this all day, every day. This guy does this all day on my social media. He's home all day doing the same thing, and I hang up on him every time. It's honestly pathetic. He's obsessed with me. Oh, are you insinuating Kamala Harris let people across the border? Okay, give a call in and let's talk about it. You won't, though, because you know that's not true. You completely made that up out of thin air. Nope, I'll tell you my biggest problem with him when you call in. I'm not talking to you in the chat, right? You can call in and you can have a conversation, or you cannot, and that's it. But you're going to have to call in to have a conversation. I'm not interested in chatting with you about it. This isn't an AOL chat room, okay? Justin, I didn't misunderstand. Your sentence made no sense, okay? Germany, July says, wow, everyone now doing Trump thing. What? My God, they're literally incompetent. This is remarkable. This is actually remarkable. Wow, now everyone doing Trump thing. Why they all doing Trump thing? Listen, Lazy, you're welcome to call in and I will very easily debunk what you're saying, but you won't. It's easy to say it in the chat and run. MAGA doesn't even know the powers of the vice president. MAGA doesn't know anything. Kamala Harris would have been a much better president than Donald Trump. There's no doubt about it. Kamala Harris was far more intelligent than the president. She wouldn't have got us into the Iran war, that's for sure. That automatically makes her a better president right there. I think she would have continued Biden's strategy with Russia and Ukraine. I think that situation probably would have been wrapped up by now. We wouldn't have ICE agents killing American citizens in the street. We wouldn't be suffering the different economic consequences of this administration. It is extremely easy to prove these things if you call in. Spy 850 says, "Why do you act so feminine?" That's probably Brooklyn on another account. That's probably that's someone from TikTok that heard Brooklyn say I'm feminine earlier. That's the new MAGA thing, by the way, if you guys don't know it. They say that I'm feminine. Not sure how they think I'm feminine. I mean, I don't know what exactly is feminine about me. I don't know, but that's what they say. Is Kamala a billionaire? No. Trump is definitely making himself richer through his presidency, yes. You think Kamala would have been good for the economy? I think she would have been better than Trump, yes. Glenn, ICE agents aren't defending themselves from getting run over. They're attacking American citizens in which they have no jurisdiction over. Okay? I can give you multiple examples of this. If you call in, we can discuss it. Other than that, I guess you'll have to shut up. All right, let's take a couple calls here. Real quick, 412. Are you a Trump supporter?
Baby, come back.
Call from
708. Are you a Trump supporter?
Fuck yeah.
All right, what's going on?
What you mean?
Why are you a Trump supporter?
Because I'm not a fucking pedophile.
That doesn't make any sense because the president is actively in the Epstein files.
That makes total sense. Don't tell me what makes sense.
All right, well, I'll explain it to you. So, who's in the Epstein
You
files?
ain't gonna explain shit to me. Don't explain shit to me.
Is Joe Biden in the Epstein files?
Yes, he is. That's why he's covering it.
Cool. Can you tell me real quick? Joe Biden's covering it? He's not even the president. Joe Biden's eating ice cream in Martha's Vineyard, Chud.
And you guys still suck his dick, so what the fuck?
Are you intoxicated, sir? Or is that just how you normally sound? I'm hoping you're
intoxicated. No, this is how I talk to you fucking leftist cockroaches. I can't fucking stand you fucking people.
I know, but you would never do anything about it, so, I mean,
I would smack the shit out of you if I ever saw you.
You wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
You wouldn't. No,
yes,
you wouldn't.
You would. All I gotta look for is the fucking
you
faggot.
You would do absolutely nothing. You would do absolutely nothing.
I would.
Listen.
I
have a good day, sir. Have a good day, sir.
I hope you fucking die.
You're a scared little boy. You're a scared little boy. You're a scared little boy who's scared to have a conversation with me because I'll destroy you, and you know it. 412, would you like another shot?
You can blame it on me. I was wrong, and I just can't live without you.
412, would you like to have a conversation, or are you going to still sing into the microphone?
Yes, I am. How's it going?
You going to have a conversation or no?
Yeah, I promise I will.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so what you mad about this week? What's Tom Trump done in your world that's fucked up?
I'm not mad about anything. I'm just simply having conversations about the normal topics. There's plenty of things.
Well, yeah,
I don't know. There's much to talk about. ICE increasing.
I love ICE. I can't lie, Adam. I love ICE. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, yeah, why?
I mean, they're getting the criminals out of America. They're keeping America safe.
No, they're not.
Oh, how not?
Do you know that over 80% of the people detained have no criminal record?
Yeah. But
do you know that undocumented immigrants commit significantly less crime than their American counterparts?
Wait a minute.
Do you know you're 3 times less likely to be attacked violently by an undocumented criminal than you are an American citizen?
I tell that to the UK. Anyway, the first stat you said, 80% of them aren't criminals. Well, I mean, they're coming into the country illegal.
Okay.
They're breaking the law.
And what is the consequence of the crime they've committed? Like, who's the victim?
The American taxpayer.
Okay, and how is the American taxpayer
And also the
How
victims
is
are
the how is the
many
American
Americans that have been
taxpayer?
killed by
How does the
illegal
what are
immigrants.
the consequences?
You could talk to those families if you want that question
Okay, that's
answered.
cool. Can you tell me what the
I
consequences
suggest
for
you
the
talk to the
American
families
taxpayer?
that have been victimized by
He's
illegal
scared to
aliens
answer the
into the
question.
United
What
States
are
of
the
America.
consequences for the American taxpayer, sir?
The American taxpayer?
Yeah. What are the consequences for them?
Possibly getting killed, putting them
Possibly
up in
getting killed.
hotels in New York.
So I'll ask you this
Actually, it's
then,
a high
right?
potential. Like if you live in a high populated area like New York, where they
All
have
right,
a
we
lot of
got it. We don't need
sanctuary
you to
cities.
ramble, okay?
I mean,
So
you're asking me the
does
question
the
and I'm answering it.
does the
So
presence of the population of undocumented immigrants currently in the country increase the likelihood of being attacked violently or not?
yes, absolutely,
Okay, can you show me
110%.
a source?
Yeah, I mean, Adam, come on.
I'll
I
wait
mean,
for
I
the
think you've
source.
watched the news. You've seen all the multiple killings of
Nope. Do you have a
illegal aliens
source?
on Americans. I mean, come on, man. We can't play
Do
semantics.
you
You're
have a
not arguing in
source?
good faith. You're not arguing in good faith.
Do you have a source?
So I stumped you on that one.
Do you have a
What's next
source?
that we can move on to?
You didn't stump me. I'm asking you for a source, or I'm gonna
Well,
move
I
on.
mean, most people know, Adam. I mean, people ain't. I'm not gonna play dumb.
So you don't have
I
a
mean, you
source.
wanted me to
You don't
come
need
on
to
here and have
play
a serious
dumb. You are
conversation.
dumb.
I'm not gonna play dumb and act like Americans have lost their life to illegal aliens. I'm not gonna
Cool.
play that
Can
game with you,
you
Adam.
provide me a source that undocumented immigrants are contributing to a rising crime rate and/or undocumented immigrants to the population currently present in the United States increase the likelihood that an American taxpayer will be attacked violently?
Ooh, that was a mouthful. Say that again.
Okay. Have a good day. I'm not gonna play with you, right? Like I'm not playing this game with you. I'm not gonna waste my time. This guy in chat said, Adam, the 80% number is low because most of the criminals they have deported are already in jail, and they were in jail and they pulled them out and deported them. Not true. You don't know what you're talking about. Come up and provide a source of your claim. It's not true. You have no idea what you're talking about. Gaz City says, God bless America and all you Americans. Government suck. Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Nerad says, Trump is the GOAT. No, he's not. Let's see. Manuel says, our sons and daughters are dying from Bibi's plan for greater Israel. Queen Anne says Trump smells like a goat. Agreed. Nerad, why don't you call in? A Michigan man. I love the truth. Why don't you call in?
Call from.
Hello. Are you a Trump supporter?
Baby, come back.
Call from.
Makani.
Are you a Trump supporter?
No. And yes. Like, I think he's a net negative. Like, he is like a net positive, but I just really want to talk and pick his brain and see what he believes.
How old are you?
I am 20.
What year were you born?
2006.
Okay. So what specifically is your take?
My take is that I think he does a lot of good so far as borders go, but I don't really like his takes on abortion.
He does a lot of good as borders go. What does that mean?
Like, he actually tries to enforce things and have things happen. I live with my MAGA grandparents.
I can tell.
I didn't vote for him in the election, but I still think that he was better than Kamala at least.
Kamala. Yeah. No, I disagree. And what specifically about the border? So then you're saying you support his mass deportation operation?
Yes and no. I support deportation.
Why?
I don't support... I support deportation as
Why?
long as they're illegal.
Why?
Because they don't have papers to be here.
Okay, so, but specifically, why? Because understand, deportation is not free. Mass deportation, on the scale Donald Trump is conducting it, costs billions and billions, if not trillions of dollars to conduct, right? There, we've seen 120% increase in hiring of ICE agents. We've seen, they're backed by billions of dollars. So why is it fiscally responsible to spend this amount of money to remove this population of people? What specifically are the consequences of their presence?
I think the consequences can be severe if you do not know who the people are in your country and what they're there for. And I do think that the cost is efficient so far as, not efficient. It's understandable so far as it is a national security risk when there are people who are being attacked or even could be attacked. I think the threat is real. And I do agree that we should have less red tape on immigration.
Okay,
I think a lot could be solved if we just did that. But I do think that
you believe in a system
important.
that is easier for people to become American citizens. But I need to address your first point. So if you said, I think that people are being attacked, can you tell me specifically, then why is it the case that undocumented immigrants aren't contributing to a rising crime rate? Because the crime rate's been going down since 2020. The administration you claimed that allowed for this population of people, the crime rate has been going consistently down for several years, including under this administration. So why has the crime rate been going down if this influx of undocumented immigrants are violent?
I don't think all of them are, which is why I believe that there should be a better immigration process. I just think we should really deport the people who are verified criminals.
Say that again.
I want to deport people who are like verified criminals who are illegals inside our country.
Okay, so we already had a process that removed people who committed violent offenses. They went to prison and they were deported. That was happening under Joe Biden. You're saying you support Donald Trump. What specifically? He's not arresting people who are just committing violent offenses. That's a system that already happened, right? So what specifically, Viking? I see what you said. What specifically has Trump done differently in regards to deportation that you support?
I'll have to admit I am not very informed in that, so if you could give me some stats, I would really appreciate it.
Some stats of what? Undocumented immigrants commit far less crime than their American counterpart. You're 3 times less likely to be attacked by an undocumented immigrant than you are an American citizen. You want me to prove a negative, which I can't do. You have to prove your claim that undocumented immigrants are violent by providing me a source that indicates undocumented immigrants contribute to a rising crime rate. It's not my responsibility to prove that they're not. It's your responsibility to prove that they are.
That's a fair point. My responsibility, I'm not trying to claim that all of them are violent. That's not my position at all. I just believe that...
No, but you're claiming that it is a consequence of their presence, which would indicate if it is a legitimate consequence, they'd be contributing to a rising crime rate. But when you really look at it, the statistics per capita, undocumented immigrants don't commit much crime, specifically violent crime. In fact, undocumented
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, so, I mean...
But I still think that the border protection should be better so we can make sure that people don't come in here who do crimes in the first place.
Okay. And did you vote? Did you vote for Trump, or you were too young to vote for Trump? Rather,
I was old enough to vote. I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for Kamala.
Okay, so Donald Trump is a convicted felon. You're aware of the fact that he was indicted 4 times.
Yeah, I don't really like him 100%.
He's constitutionally ineligible. So for someone to say that they don't like undocumented immigrants because they believe in enforcing the law against people who have potentially committed a civil infraction or a misdemeanor, and then they voted for a convicted felon who engaged in election interference because he had an affair with a porn star and wanted to cover that up to not negatively impact his campaign. I find that to be a disingenuous argument. All I will tell you is that undocumented crime is not a legitimate consequence of undocumented immigrants. Undocumented immigrants are generally considered one of the more peaceful populations of people present in our country, and that's not to say that people don't commit crime, right? It's also, right, it would be ridiculous for me to say that any population of people is not going to contain some evil people that may commit crime. But we already have systems in place and laws in place that deal with criminals who commit violent action regardless of their documentation status. And that doesn't really... I don't believe that that's a legitimate consequence when it comes to their presence, right? My argument is that it's fiscally irresponsible because it's incredibly expensive to conduct such an operation when there aren't real legitimate consequences for the American people. Undocumented immigrants are technically a net positive on our economy, right, and our society. They contribute $100 billion at a federal, state, and local level through our tax system, right? They subsidize federal programs. They reduce the deficit. So I believe that ultimately we should grant them mass amnesty, allow for them to become those that aren't already paying taxes, which many of them are. Those that aren't paying taxes be issued an individual taxpayer identification number, allow for them to become taxpayers, work, not have to worry about being deported, and if they pass a background check and they've not committed any violent action during their pathway to citizenship, that they're allowed to become citizens. I think that's the most beneficial way to deal with this population, to benefit the American taxpayer.
So would you be in favor of protection of the border with that mass amnesty?
I have no problem with having borders. My issue isn't with borders. It's just that I believe that
your issue is that they're spending a lot of money to mass deport people who are actually providing to the economy.
My issue is that the result of that population, right, comes from a broken immigration system, right? I believe in repairing, right, the immigration system, abolishing ICE. I don't think ICE is productive. I don't think that interior security infrastructure that is ICE is beneficial for the American taxpayer. I think we need to abolish ICE, grant them mass amnesty, allow for them to participate in our society, outside of those who commit violent offenses, allow those that aren't already paying taxes to be issued an individual taxpayer identification number, let them participate in the workforce. Those that aren't already, by the way, most of them are. And that will have more benefits for the American people than spending billions and billions of dollars to run around the streets and deport them and violate the constitutional rights of American citizens and murder innocent people. I mean, we've seen this time and time again, right? That this operation does not work. And there's not a single person in this live right now could tell me that mass deportation has in any way benefited them. Mass deportation does not make your life any better. It does not. It is not for you. It does not make your life better.
Okay. And that is a fairly reasonable approach to it. It would still take money to take care of that thing, but I think it'd be, I agree with you, that would be
take
a lot
money
more
to take care of what? No, it wouldn't.
So it would take money to process the tax portion. People have jobs and they'll have to take care of that, but they'd probably pay that anyway, I guess.
Exactly. They would already pay that. They're a net positive. That's the entire point, is there isn't a single study that provides that undocumented immigrants are actually a net negative. And any study that does unfairly inflates the fiscal burden. Like, you'll see a lot of times Republicans cite, like the FAIR study, for instance, is a common study Republicans will cite. But I encourage you, right, as you continue to educate yourself on this subject, to look at how they came to that number, because they typically unfairly inflate the fiscal burden by including the cost of American-born citizens to undocumented immigrants. According to the 14th Amendment, they're American citizens. They were born here, even though their parents are undocumented immigrants, and they don't include their future tax contributions to offset the burden. So they unfairly inflate the fiscal burden that way, because they can't come up with a number that exceeds the $100 billion in tax contributions.
Okay, so I just want to know where you're coming from on this. So, who did you vote for in the
Kamala Harris
election? Okay. So what made you think that she was a net positive, better choice than Trump specifically?
So a broad answer for you is she's not fascist. Okay, Donald Trump, I believe, is a fascist by definition. You've seen this through his attempt to consolidate power. ICE is a perfect example of this. The war in Iran, I don't think Kamala Harris would have invaded Iran. I think she would have been better at negotiating some kind of deal between Russia and Ukraine. I think Donald Trump set those negotiations back significantly by meeting with Vladimir Putin and not holding his feet to the fire, trying to take a more neutral approach. The way he attacked Vladimir Zelensky in the Oval Office, ultimately allowing for Russia to have the upper hand in negotiations. I think that ICE wouldn't be killing American citizens in the street. I don't think these tactics would have been implemented whatsoever. So those are some good answers right there.
Well, frankly, I think that we were dealt really a bad menu when it came to the election, because I didn't want to vote for either. There are a lot of policies that Kamala supports that I don't like abortion and stuff like that. I think you would have probably made a better president than her in some ways, honestly. But thanks for talking to me. I don't have any iota for Trump now.
Well, I appreciate, and you shouldn't, because he's a complete idiot, and I can disagree with you on specific issues. But I will say that when it comes to Kamala Harris wasn't interested in advancing her financial interests, right? That alone makes her a better president. Donald Trump is interested in becoming rich and using the presidency to become rich, and we could talk about that if you wanted to continue. But you said you're going to go. That's fine. You can call back another time. He's extreme.
Actually, if you want to go on that, I would like to hear that.
Yeah, Donald Trump is extremely corrupt. I'm not sure if you're familiar with his crypto scam at all.
Both my grandparents are MAGA, so.
Why are your grandparents MAGA?
Well, they don't like the illegals being in here mostly.
So your grandparents are bigots then.
Yeah, unfortunately, one pair is really old, and the other pair just thought that was the best way to keep America slightly more Christian, even though Trump isn't even a Christian. So. Say
that last part.
One pair wanted it for the illegal immigrants because they were raised in the. They're really old. My dad's old.
But were their grandparents born here?
Yes, their grandparents were born here.
Okay.
I don't have anyone on my recent side that's been immigrated recently, within the last 4 or 5 greats.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, were there? So you're saying your grandparents were born here?
Mhm.
How do you know that?
I actually research my family genealogy. I'm a nerd. Sorry.
I find that interesting. It's unlikely, but I guess. I would just say if they don't like them being here, I would ask them the question why. The same question I asked you. What specifically don't you like about them? What are they doing?
They don't like the crime rate. They don't like the crime rate and all the crimes going on. They blame it entirely on them being illegal immigrants, not on the fact that they're just bad people, which I have always disagreed with. But yeah.
But the problem is they're not contributing to a rising crime rate. It's not happening.
As a whole, yeah, they're not.
They're not at all in any way. There's not a county in this country.
Yeah,
in which they are.
As a whole, any group isn't contributing to crime. I would hope.
I just want you to understand, undocumented immigrants aren't rising the crime rate in any way. The crime, as I stated for you before, you can look at the crime rate and be very careful about the statistics being put out by the federal government at this point. But from 2020 to 2020 to now to 2026, you can see there's a pretty consistent decline, specifically in violent crime over the years. Right? That crime rate is going down as Republicans are claiming an influx, a deliberate attempt to allow undocumented immigrants to invade the country. Well, if they're contributing to a rising crime rate, why is the crime rate going down as undocumented immigrants are entering the country?
That's a good riddle for them to figure out.
Because the answer is they don't commit crime. The idea that they entered the country illegally, well, that's a misdemeanor, right? We're talking about a misdemeanor here. We're talking about a victimless crime for the most part. There really isn't a legitimate consequence. Now, that I want you to understand something, because when you're younger, you're more likely to fall victim to the propaganda. Republicans, and I want to point out this specifically, why do you think Republicans isolate and tokenize specific situations rather than cite statistics when it comes to undocumented immigrants and crime? Do you ever hear Republicans cite crime rates when it comes to undocumented immigrants? Never, right? They'll say Lake and Riley. They'll point out specific. Somebody just did it in the chat. They'll point out specific incidents. Why do you think that is?
To garner empathy.
Because the crime rate doesn't support their claim. They have to cite specific circumstances. Oh, Lake and Riley was murdered by an undocumented immigrant. Well, that person was arrested and held accountable for the crime that he committed. Crime is a consequence of any population. The question is whether or not that population is responsible for a rising crime rate. Are they contributing to a rising crime rate? And the answer is no. Statistically, crime has been falling even under the time frame in which Republicans accuse Democrats of opening the border and allowing for millions of undocumented immigrants to enter the country illegally.
Yeah. But you're arguing with the ghost here because my grandparents don't have a dog in this.
I'm just telling you,
right
this
now.
is what you should
Yeah.
ask. But you should ask them.
Yeah, I'll try that.
Call back. Ask them and call back a different time. Take care.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Yep, bye. Somebody in the chat made a claim about undocumented immigrants. You should call in and ask me that question on the microphone. Yeah, no one's reading your paragraphs. That's right. We're signing a healthcare plan in 2 weeks. We're going to sign an immigration plan, a healthcare plan in the next 4 weeks. Exactly. He's full of crap. So, I mean, that's all there's to it. And I mean, look, having grandparents that have these opinions, I'm not saying it's easy to get through to them. It's not. But to the person in chat that said, well, these people live in sanctuary cities so they don't report crime. That's not true. Okay. Sanctuary city policies don't stop police from arresting people or prosecuting crimes. I don't know where you got that from.
Call from
Tony.
Let's see. Is this the person that just called in before trolling the 9-3, or is it a different number?
I haven't talked to you in fucking 6 months, retard. Or you're not up to it?
You just slurred, you dumb fuck. Now I have to hang up on you. Good job, dumbass. What a goof. First fucking sentence says a fucking slur.
Call from
Tony.
Yeah, are you a Trump supporter?
Quit being...
It's that fucking idiot again. Quit! This 440 number called me a shitload of times. Now they're not answering. The phone line's back on. You can call in. They all like to call when I'm on the phone.
Hi, it's me. If I was not able to reach the phone, just call me back after like 5 minutes, and I should be able to pick up. Thank you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hello, it's your favorite president. Unbelievable you're a supporter of mine. You're an unbelievable supporter. Thank you for supporting the PDF.
Call from
Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
Hello?
Yes, how are you?
Okay. Who is this? Is this the guy who's
Yeah,
going
this
on
is
my
the
stream?
guy. What's up?
Alright, how do you feel about Charlie? Charlie Kirk.
What about him?
How do you feel about his death?
I didn't know him or anything. I was supposed to. They invited me to go debate him in Texas or something for the counter pack for that against TPUSA, but I just didn't. I didn't do it. But other than that, I had no association with him. So no, I just thought he was just a mid-tier debater.
Yeah, he was probably the best debater that's out there. He had a way of shutting people down. You know, like he absolutely shut people up.
No, he wasn't. But okay. Why do you think he was? Why do you think that? Leech Kyle, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. It's been tough for me to catch lives. I always have them on when I'm in the garage or gaming. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you so much, Kyle. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Guys, I would appreciate contributing to the super chat goal. Andy, thank you so much. I think Andy sent the other one. Thank you, Andy. Appreciate you guys. Would appreciate supporting the super chat goal. Talk to this guy. You can also support on Venmo or Cash App.
What do you think about the border policies?
Hold on really quick, but before we get to that, and we can do that, but I'm just curious, what did you like about Charlie Kirk?
I like the way that like he kind of was able to use the words. Like people would say, "Oh, you know, the Republicans take away their rights." He'd quickly find out that he'd show them that there's no way, no one's taking away their rights. We follow the Constitution, you know.
You follow the Constitution?
The government is following the Constitution.
Do you
I
think
mean, on
that-
the right side.
Really? You think so?
Yes.
Do you know your
absolutely.
Constitution?
Close those borders down.
Do you know the Constitution or no?
Yes.
Okay, so what's your Third Amendment?
What?
What's
Wait,
your
quiet for a second,
Third
sorry.
Amendment?
You saying about the Bill of Rights?
Your Third Amendment.
The Bill of Rights?
Sir, what's your Third Amendment? What's the Bill of Rights?
The Bill of Rights was added to the Constitution to get the stuff that because like you know the Constitution lets.
What is your
out,
Third
so
Amendment? The Third
it
Amendment of
blocks
the
the government
Constitution.
from forcing people to house soldiers in their private homes.
Okay,
during
so
the
you
peace
looked
time.
it up. Good. I'm glad you looked it up. It took you long enough.
Well,
You don't
I
know
know
your
the
Constitution.
base of it.
It's fine.
I know the base of it.
So let
buddy.
me ask you a
I know
question.
the base
So
of
let
it.
me ask you a question real quick. Can you tell me
4
what
score and
justified?
7 years ago,
Can you
our
tell me
fathers.
really quick? Can you tell me what justified the death of Alex Breddy? If Republicans respect one's constitutional rights, why do their policies infringe on the rights of American citizens?
Hey, listen, no party's perfect. All right?
I
There's
thought
stuff
you said
that
they
goes
respect the Constitution. Why is Donald Trump constitutionally ineligible if they respect the Constitution? Why did he engage in insurrection? I'm sure you're
Excuse me,
familiar.
what'd you say?
Insurrection. You know the insurrection clause in the Constitution, Section 3 of
Why
the
was
14th
why
Amendment.
was
Why,
was
if he
Charlie
respects the
Kirk killed?
Constitution,
Why was
would
Charlie
he?
Kirk killed? Both parties. It's because we
Never
have a
mind.
sinful
I
nature.
thought this was a
as humans.
legitimate conversation, but I
Hey,
guess it's
goodbye.
not.
Goodbye,
Charlie,
sir. Goodbye.
Charlie, hold on. Why was Charlie Kirk killed? Because someone shot him. Like, what would you like me to say? Because someone shot him? I don't know. The fuck? MAGA is the most violent group of people like I've ever met. Okay? Like, I don't know what that has to do with the Constitution. Someone committed a crime and killed him. I mean, that's what happened. I don't know what else to say, bro.
We are unable to complete.
What's up, Fat Adam?
All right, so listen, if you're just going to keep being stupid, listen.
No, go ahead. I don't want to hurt your feelings. Go ahead.
You're
Go
not
ahead.
hurting my
I wanna
feelings.
hear it.
I can smell your breath.
Yeah, it hurts your feelings.
I can smell your breath through the phone. That's really the problem that I have. I can actually smell the fried onions through the phone. Like, legitimately. I can smell the fried onions through the phone. That's really the issue I have.
Oh my God. If you're going to call, then
Listen,
fucking talk.
real
Quit being a
quick,
weirdo.
I am talking, you dumbass.
No, you're not. You hang up.
Then how did you
Used
just hear
to,
me?
you would debate.
Listen.
Used to, you would debate.
Listen.
Are you going to
goodbye.
debate?
Listen, Wayne, shut up
You're-
and let me speak. Okay?
You don't
So-
ever tell me to shut up, fat boy.
I just told you to shut up, Wayne. So let me
And
speak.
nobody fucking believes you're a kitty
Can I
cat.
finish talking, Wayne?
Go ahead,
Right.
but you won't let me
We're
finish.
not
Go
hanging
ahead.
out on fucking Farm Road.
Fuck you. Just make your
All right.
point.
So
Make your point.
I don't have a point. You called me. What's up?
Oh my God, you won't debate. You were telling this chick all kind of stupid shit.
Like, what
it's
did I say
cheaper-
that's incorrect?
Okay, listen closely. You can be debunked in 30 seconds on the fact that in 5 years with the 15 million illegals that Joe Biden let in would
50
cost
million,
trillions
did
more
you
if
just
they-
say?
Yes. My God, his own website. All viewers, hey, listen, all viewers, all listeners, go to the federal website.
Bro,
Look
he
at his
said
DHS,
50
his Border Patrol.
million,
It's
bro.
over 15 million illegals that they've lost. It's Biden's own federal website. And Democrats just are fucking too stupid to admit it. You've got over 15 million illegals that you let in. And guess what? There's video proof, fat boy.
All right, show me the
Just
video proof.
on the port of entry.
Show me
Just
the
on the port
video
of
proof.
entry.
Show me the video proof. I'll wait.
Fucking go back and pull the Fox archive. They were there every day with
Pull
drones.
it up for me real quick. I'll wait. I want to hear
150 to 200,000 a day.
How many people live in the United States?
I'm not here to educate you. The rest of the world knows
Just tell me,
the truth,
how many
dude.
people live in the United States?
Oh my God! Dude,
Just take a guess.
Serious?
How many live in the United States?
You tell me how many voted for Trump first. How many voted for Trump? Over how many? How many was
That's
it?
irrelevant.
He won.
So wait,
Deportation was the number one issue.
Okay.
You know it's true.
Can you tell me really quick, how many people live in the United States?
You tell me how many voted for Trump.
He won't tell you, folks, because this is what makes the
No,
number
I'll
50
tell
million
you, but
look
you won't
ridiculous.
tell me because this is what you do.
What
This
percentage
is what you
of
do.
the population do you think
You
is
don't even
undocumented?
have a clue.
What?
I've heard you say you thought there were 600 million people in America.
I
think you said
that.
685.
I
Yeah,
never
you did.
said that.
Oh my God!
What are you
Dude,
talking
you
about?
never own up to what you
I
say.
never said that.
How
When
many
did I
voted
say
for?
that?
How many voted
When
for
did
Trump?
I say that?
How many voted for
Okay,
Trump?
He doesn't
I haven't
know.
talked to you in 6 months.
He now says I said there were 680 million people in the United States. What the fuck is he talking about? 50 million undocumented immigrants? 50 million? Do you realize how stupid fucking dumbass? Oh my God. It's sad state of affairs when you talk to MAGA, isn't it? It really is. And the maggots in the chat try and defend the argument. He doesn't even know how many people live in the country. I mean, you can't make this shit up. You really can't, even if you wanted to. See if we can get another caller in here who's somewhat coherent. See if we can get somebody with some kind of a coherent argument. All right, we got a call here, 250. Let's give them a call back. They've called 3
We are unable
times.
to complete your call due to unusual.
All right, so they called off a fake number. All right, we're not picking up for that clown anymore. He's just yelling. Fucking Wayne Roth, Sumner. Goofy. Somebody in the chat said, what are your pronouns? He, him. Why? Do you have a problem with someone stating their pronouns? Oh my God, you're so easily offended, dude. You're so easily offended by someone talking about their pronouns. Why does that bother you so much?
Call from
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, are you a Trump supporter?
Why is everybody talking bad about Trump?
I don't know. I'm a Trump supporter myself. Well, he hung up. I'm not sure why. Imagine calling in just to say, why is everyone talking bad about Trump, and then hanging up. Like, what the fuck? Hi. Why'd you hang up?
You hung up.
I didn't hang up. What's going on?
What's going on with you? What's going on with Trump over there?
Well, I think Trump is a terrible president. Do you agree or disagree?
The Great White Hope? You're going to say that about the Great White Hope?
What do you mean, the Great White Hope?
He freed all the slaves.
All right, listen. Do you want to have a serious conversation, or do you want to be an immature guy?
Okay, let's have a serious conversation.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Why do I support Trump?
Yes.
To be honest, I don't support Trump nor Kamala. I think they're both fools.
Okay, well, who did you vote for, though?
Who did I vote for?
Did you vote for the Israeli puppet, or did you vote for Kamala Harris?
No, I didn't vote for any of them. To be honest, I voted for Jesus Christ.
What do you mean you voted for Jesus Christ?
That's who I vote for every day. That's Jesus Christ. The only person that I'll ever vote for.
Okay, but sir, have you ever met Jesus?
Every day.
Okay, and does he speak to you?
Does he speak to me?
Yeah.
He speaks to everybody. You just don't hear him, right?
What does he say to you about Trump? Because many Christians would say voting for Trump is voting for Jesus. I speak to them all the time. And they say that quite often.
I don't care what Christians say. I care about what Jesus says. So let's not conflate both of those.
I'm not conflating them. I'm simply saying that many people would say that. So are you saying that they aren't true Christians, the Christians that support Trump?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that people can be fooled, of course.
Okay, so you think Trump is fooling those Christians?
Just like Kamala, just like the Democrats, they fool everybody as well, right?
Okay, how specifically was Kamala Harris fooling people? You'll have to be more specific.
What did Kamala Harris actually ever do?
Well, let's see. She was the vice president of the United States.
Yeah,
she
but what
was a
did
prosecutor.
she do?
What did she do as the
She
graduated from law school, passed the bar exam. She became the first black vice president in the history of our. I'm trying to tell you, sir.
Okay, so so she was a black vice president, right? Okay, cool.
Do you think that's an easy thing to accomplish? I know you're discounting that.
No. I want to know what did she actually do? Not just become. She became a vice president.
Oh, what is the role of a vice president?
What? No, she was the border czar, was she not?
No.
Oh no, she was not. She was not told that was her particular job to take care of the border.
She specifically was not told that. That's a Republican talking point. Yes, and I'll explain it to you if you want me to. We don't have czars. We don't have czars in this country. So
that's fine. That's weird. Border czar. She's in charge of whatever it is. I don't care what the name is. Okay, what was she in charge of?
She was in charge of addressing the root cause of migration from specific countries. She was never in charge of the border.
And did she successfully do her job? How did she successfully do it? Since you said it with so much conviction, how did she do her job? What did she do?
What do you mean?
Like how did she do her job? How did she do it well? Like you tell me, because you said it with conviction. I asked, did she do her job? You said yes. So
she did do her job. She's the vice president of the United States. She met with foreign leaders. That's one of the primary jobs of the vice president. Okay.
Yeah.
And she launched the Central American Forward Initiative. I don't know if you know about that at all.
I've heard about it. Yes, I've heard.
Okay.
So that was her.
Do you know? Can you tell me a little bit about it?
No, I don't need to tell you anything about. I want to know her accomplishment.
Your claim is that she was in charge of the U.S.-Mexico border, and I'm saying that she was in charge of. Her assignment was more.
I said migration. Sorry, man.
Okay, so she helped. Okay, so now you're conceding she wasn't the border czar. So in terms of her job, which was to address, I'm trying to explain to you, sir, her job was more a diplomatic role. She was working with countries.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Can I explain without you talking?
Yeah, explain.
Okay, please. There's no czar in the United States. She was not put in charge of the U.S.-Mexico border operations. That's a Republican talking point. Her job was much more diplomatic. She was. Can I finish answering, please?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. I heard you.
Her job was diplomacy, working with these countries: Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and address the issues, address the root causes of migration, address the economic issues, the corruption in these countries, the violence, the climate shocks, the things that cause people to migrate from these other countries to the United States. What are the issues that help drive migration? And then she addresses those issues. That was her job.
Okay. So since we got through that, so why did she become very unpopular?
Because people are racist and don't want
women. So that's your only reason, is because people are racist? Come on,
I think
man.
that people primarily don't like her
Come
because
on,
they don't.
that's
You got to let me finish, bro. Like,
yeah, but
you
that's
asked me
bad
why she became
too.
unpopular. One of the first things you asked me in here, right, was she the border czar, which you were under the impression she was.
Okay,
And that's
okay.
so
Again,
hold on.
what comes
Hold
after
on.
racism?
Can I
You said
talk,
she's racist.
please? Stop
You said
talking
she's
over
racist.
me. Do I have to put a sock
You
in
said
your
you're-
mouth?
You said people are racist.
Do
Go
I
on,
have to put a
what
sock
next?
in your mouth to speak?
Are you gonna put one in my mouth? How? You're right
Okay?
here, and I'm right here.
It's a form of expression. Now stop talking.
I get it. I get
Okay?
it. I get it.
So
But
you answer your own question, right? When you perpetuate misinformation the way that you did about her being the border czar.
Okay,
I think not
apologize
all.
for the
Can I
misinformation.
please
I was
speak?
misinformed.
Do you
Yes, you
stop
spoke about this 3
talking?
times, Rick.
Stop
3 times.
talking.
Okay, go
There's
ahead.
some dumb fuck in the chat that thinks you're not a real person, by the way. So let's just fucking
I don't care if they.
mute
I
this
don't care if they
moron.
think I'm a real person.
I mean, it's just seriously the dumbest fucks ever. There's a phone number there. You call it. I'm on the phone. If I'm not answering the phone, it's because I'm on the phone, as you can hear me on the phone right now, numbskulls. So, as you said, right, she was the border czar. So, not only are people racist in some cases, some people believe misinformation like you. They think she was in charge of a border that had a what many on the right would consider a failure of immigration policy, when really her job was to address the root causes of migration. I was trying to explain to you how she helped generate money for these regions under the initiative I previously spoke about, Call to Action for Northern and Central America. Right? And it helped promote programs to help small business in these areas and housing and workforce development, so people don't feel compelled to try and go to the United States to seek a better life, make their life better there where they live, right? That she, make sure they have food security, things like that. And she was a major part of generating revenue for those causes, going after corruption and things like that. So there's a million
What
reasons
corruption?
why.
What corruption did she tackle?
So a lot of these countries, right, are corrupt. She announced a U.S. anti-corruption task force and used prosecutors to investigate corruption cases in these countries that I talked about.
Okay. I'm gathering information. That's all I'm asking.
So Mexico, for instance, has a tremendous amount of corruption, right? These are initiatives aimed at addressing corruption in these countries to make life better for those who live there. That was her job. Her job was not border czar. That's just not true.
So okay, like you said, a lot of people were under the impression, because of the misinformation that was put out there, right? So they probably didn't vote for her because of this misinformation.
Well, who do you think had more experience, the president or her?
Oh, of course her, because she's been in politics for I don't know for how many years, and he hasn't. He's a businessman.
She has.
Right? She was a. I don't know if district attorney is part of politics or not, but I don't know. But she was already in there at some point. No, how long has she been in?
Do you
in
think
politics,
that she was a more accomplished person? Whether if you want to talk about in terms of legislation, but I'm just saying, just generally speaking. Okay, you don't think she's more okay. So what specifically are Trump's accomplishments that led you to vote?
I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for anybody. I told you. I only vote for one man.
So you're just a non-participant then. I don't know why I'm wasting my breath. But the difference is in some cases, right, whether or not you support, I don't support 100% of everything Kamala Harris did. I'm majorly opposed to U.S. foreign policy. That's something Democrats support. I don't. I have major problems with capitalism. Democrats support capitalism. I don't. So there's a number of things that I disagree with Democrats on. That being said, she was the clear option between the two. Okay.
Well, I guess that's a form. That's a form of opinion, right? Like that's not.
It's not.
That is
though.
your
my
opinion.
opinion's proven to be true because Donald Trump started a war. The federal government's killing people in the street. The economy's in the toilet. I mean, what would you like to measure it by? I mean, this president has been an utter failure, so I don't think she could have done much worse. Do you think we'd be at war in Iran if Kamala Harris was the president? No.
Probably because the Democrats defended.
Hello?
Defend the Jews as well. So what are we talking about?
Defend the what?
Both have served the Israeli government.
So why
one
didn't
way or
Biden
another.
invade
Can you not
Iran?
hear me?
Why didn't previous presidents invade Iran when Netanyahu's... Hold on, I'm talking now. You just claimed, right, that they support, and I don't know why you said the Jews. I think you're referring to the Israeli government, right, specifically. We're not talking about just Jewish people. We're talking about the Israeli government. Specifically, why didn't previous presidents... Can you shut up? Netanyahu's been trying to convince American presidents to invade Iran for decades. So why specifically didn't Obama or Biden or any of these previous presidents invade Iran when prompted to do so by Israel?
Well, I can't answer that question, man.
Because they're not
because they thought
stupid. Because they're not stupid. So when you ask me, how do I know she wouldn't have? Because the previous presidents didn't either. In fact, Obama, under the Obama administration, you had the JCPOA, which Donald Trump tore up and claimed he could negotiate a better agreement, and then opted for military action in Operation Midnight Hammer, which was a failure, but he claimed was a success in bombing those 3 sites, right? And then claimed that we needed to attack them again for the same objective of Operation Midnight Hammer, even though he had already claimed we obliterated their ability to develop nuclear weapons.
Well, again,
Kamala Harris
I'm
would
not,
have
I'm
upheld Kamala Harris, right, would have negotiated an agreement similar to the JCPOA, regardless of your issues with the JCPOA. It allowed for the most intrusive inspections we've ever had, and so I would much rather a president who can effectively negotiate a deal with Iran than a president who conducts military operations without fully understanding the multi-layered Iranian government and then ends up entangled in a multi-year, potentially $1 trillion war.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna disagree with you on what you think about Trump, because I don't have any. Let's just say, I don't really think very fondly of Donald Trump. I'm not a Donald Trump supporter. To be honest, I don't support any political group, because I feel like they just work to divide people. They just say, okay, yeah, the far right is bad, the far left is bad. And if you try to be center, then they're like, okay, well, you're just trying to appease other people, or you have to be one or the other. It's like, I don't have to be anything, man. To be honest, I don't vote for anybody just because I think it's a waste of my time. While people are fighting over people that don't give a shit about you or me, because they don't fight for us. You say they fight for us. Kamala fights for us. She never fought for anybody.
So
except
the
for herself,
argument,
except
though,
for
is
her own wallet.
Okay,
except for
but
her
the
own
argument
pocket.
is Donald Trump is
same thing as Trump.
I understand that.
Yeah,
But
he's
the
a piece of
argument is
shit.
Donald
He is
Trump
a
is a
piece of shit. He's
fascist,
no
right?
good.
And like he's
Yes,
destroying
yes,
our institutions.
I agree. I agree
Okay,
with you.
but
I agree with you.
that's why I'm telling you needed to vote for Kamala Harris, because he's destroying our country.
No,
Okay?
No. That's not what anybody needs to do.
Okay, goodbye. Yes, they do. I'm not going to have somebody up here telling people not to vote. Somebody said Hayden Panettiere died. Wow, that's fucking sad. She was fucking young, too. Holy shit. What was she, 38 years old or something? 37 years old? Jesus Christ. What did she die of? What did she die from? That's fucking terribly fucking sad, bro. She's only in her 30s. That's fucked up. Are you a Trump supporter?
I don't agree with Trump or Kamala Harris.
Who'd you vote for?
I would not vote for Kamala Harris because she would be a bad president.
Why? How old are you?
I'm 18, born in 2007 in February.
Why would she be a bad president?
Okay. Would you put your trust in somebody who doesn't even go by their own standards?
I don't know. That question makes no sense. What standards? Standards of what?
So the question is that Kamala Harris supports the LGBTQ, but she claims that she's a Baptist Christian.
Your point being
going
what?
against her own. So she's going against her own word. So if she can't even trust her, if she can't even trust her own word, how could she be trusted with the USA?
Okay, so do you know that we have a separation of the church and state in the United States? Do you understand we have a separation of church and state?
Yes.
Okay, and what does that mean? What does the separation mean? The wall of separation?
Well, when we have churches, though, some churches are false. She should know by her own teachings in the Bible. So.
Okay, you're missing the point here. What
What's
specifically does the wall of separation represent? Why do we have a separation of church and state? You're talking about her, like, religious. Like, you understand, by the way, there's plenty of Christians who support LGBTQIA+, right? That doesn't disqualify you from being.
And they're going against their own teaching, because it states in Leviticus, men shall not lie with men.
Yeah, but that's not really. I mean, if you really want to get into it, we certainly can. But I really don't want to go down a debate about the Bible because I honestly don't care enough. But people interpret Christian ethics differently from Christians who hold these like traditional sexual ethics views. Okay. You're trying to say that like one interpretation of Christianity is the only Christian standard, and it's not. I mean, there's people that are gay that are pastors, so I mean, and they would disagree with you.
And they're false prophets, because in the Bible, Jesus also said that not every Christian is going to be a true Christian. False prophets will come in ravaging wolves. And if you look at the Bible, it clearly says you cannot be homosexual. So why are you praising sin if you are actively a Christian? Therefore, I cannot trust you. So why should I trust you for being the president of the United States?
Because we have a separation of church and state in this country, and you're asking her to implement her personal religious opinion in her policies.
Here's what you need to understand. This is
I don't need to understand anything, Guy. You think you're making some profound...
Look,
excuse me. America has a separation of church and state. So your religious interpretation is not automatically the law. The government can't impose one denomination's theology on people who follow another faith or don't follow faith, right? Christians, all I'm pointing out is Christians disagree on issues concerning the sexuality and things like that, okay? And citizens in this country are also Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, atheist.
And they're false too.
Wait. Okay, well, whatever, dude. That's why we have that's why we have freedom of religion, okay? Do you understand what freedom of religion means? One can believe in whatever religion they want, okay? And she can't impose her denomination's theology on people, regardless of whether or not she believed that personally.
Okay, but if she believes, right, it's in her faith. If she can't trust her own book on being gay is a sin, how could I trust her from owning or being the president? I can't, because she doesn't even trust in her own book. So how could she be trusted as the president?
As I stated, because of the separation of church and state, you are free to believe that the Bible says that. Whether she does or not, I don't know. But you are not free to use the government to impose that religious belief on every American. So even if she held that belief personally, she would not be allowed to impose that religious belief on every American. Okay, that's the difference between religious liberty and religious control. If we didn't have a separation of church and state, then sure, maybe the president would be able to advocate for implementing anti-LGBTQ laws based off of their religious doctrine. But we have a separation of church and state, so the argument is irrelevant.
Okay. Do you agree with abortion?
Do I agree with women's health care? Yes.
Why do you agree with abortion?
Okay, I'm not going to debate abortion with an 18-year-old kid. I'm just not going to, a guy. I'm not going to do it. So why do I agree? Because it's healthcare. That's why I agree with it.
Okay. Well,
do you understand my point about the separation? Do you understand the Establishment Clause? Can you explain to me what what's the Establishment Clause say specifically about the government and establishing an official? What's my interpretation? That the government may not establish. My interpretation is the government may not establish an official religion or favor a religion over like another religious doctrine. Do you agree with that?
Okay. I agree that this religion should not be forced.
So
Yes,
then you
I
would
agree.
concede then that regardless of her individual beliefs, she would not be able to use the government to impose that religious doctrine on every American, right? Because we have religious liberty, therefore she's constitutionally required to separate her personal religious beliefs from any kind of law.
But the point is trust. That's the point.
Trust?
Trust. If she can't trust her own book, how can she be trusted with the U.S.?
Okay, and I referenced this before, which you didn't seem to accept, and that's fine.
No, I did accept it. What you're not accepting is that I'm not talking about her religious beliefs. I am talking about her in trust. You can't trust your own book. I even seen one time where she even talked about the gospel. So she's not.
Well, the Bible doesn't even really talk about being gay. I mean, that's your interpretation. No, it doesn't.
Oh,
does the Bible use the modern concept of sexual orientation? No. Okay.
It says men shall not lie with men.
Yeah. So again, I'm saying it's an interpretation.
If you go out and you have sex with a man, would you consider that man homosexual?
Watch this. Right. You're a Trump supporter. Okay. So then I would ask.
You're not a Trump supporter.
You literally are.
Kamala,
you're literally a Trump supporter. You're a Trump supporter. Are you going to deny that you're a Trump supporter now?
Kamala and Trump are both horrible presidents. Kamala would be a horrible president.
Well, I was just going to point out the fact that Donald Trump also claims to be a Christian, but yet cheats on his wife.
He's not a Christian. He's a horrible Christian. He's not a Christian at all.
Well, regardless, there's no serious basis for saying that the Bible commands Christians to hate or demean or impose laws against gay people. Because again, I love when people say this when you constantly talk about these things. What is the central teaching of Jesus?
Perfect. Love.
Right. Everyone is entitled to what specifically?
Love.
Equal dignity. Right. So why do you care whether or not someone is gay?
All right. I love that question. Now, when you consider that people are talking about homosexual, we're talking about the action. We're not talking about the person as a whole. I'm going to love the person, but as far as their action,
Dave in the chat said, "Let her speak." This is a guy, just so you know, Dave. It's an 18-year-old guy. But go ahead.
Oh, like I was saying, that's funny. Okay, like I was saying, we love the person, but the action, as far as the action and what they do, no, because they went against God. For example, Jesus doesn't really talk about bestiality, but does that really make it a good thing to do? No. I'm still gonna love the person. I'm not gonna love the actions that they do. So yeah, I can walk around with gay friends because Jesus ate with sinners. I can be friends with gay people, but as far as saying that I hate them because I don't agree with homosexuality, no, not true.
But the problem is that when you say love the person and hate the action, right? Love doesn't include unequal treatment, and you're advocating for imposing religious doctrine on American citizens who are LGBTQIA+. So an attempt to deny them equal rights is not, in practice, love.
No, they could do what they need to do. All I'm saying.
Then why did you just say that Kamala Harris should take initiative, essentially, in enforcing religious doctrine if that's what her book says and she claims to be a Christian without fully understanding the wall of separation?
All right, look, because the thing is that she's going against her book by supporting the sin. I never said you couldn't love the person. She's going against her own book. By doing that, I cannot trust you as president. Because if you're going against something you believe in, how do I not know that you're going to screw up America?
Okay, so then you don't trust gay people either, right?
Gay people, when I say that, I said I don't trust
but they
Kamala
don't go
Harris.
again. They don't follow the book of God. Do you trust them?
Sir, I think you're missing the point.
Oh, no, I'm not missing the point. I'm telling you that you're essentially saying that their behavior is inherently sinful. right? That's
if you're a Christian and you're gay, you're going against your book. So I would say you're like Kamala Harris, and you do not believe in your own
So
book.
my final answer to you would be: you're entitled to your theology. I don't have. You can believe whatever you want. It's called freedom of religion, right? But you don't get to turn it into like civil law for anyone else. So as it relates to politics, you don't get to enforce any kind of religious doctrine. So
I'm not
outside of that,
enforcing it. But I feel like Kamala Harris does not have the trust.
But we have yes, she does, because she supports the Constitution. As I've already stated, we have a separation of church and state, and that means a religious belief. Excuse me. As I stated, regardless of regardless of her theology. Excuse me. Regardless of her theology, right? She respects the Constitution and the separation of church and state. Right, in the Establishment Clause means that a religious belief can't be used to deny equal protection to people who follow different beliefs. Okay, so she wouldn't even be allowed to if she wanted to. Right, you have your personal beliefs in whatever religious doctrine you choose, but constitutionally you do not have the right to impose that on other people. So she doesn't have that belief, but even if she did, she would not be able to use her position of authority in government to impose that on others. I was just challenging the idea. I was simply challenging the idea that, if you really love someone, right, which you claimed love the person, you don't describe their relationship, gay or otherwise, as needing to be condemned. You don't tell people that you don't tell straight people, for instance, that their intimacy is acceptable. Telling straight people that their intimacy is acceptable and then telling a gay person that it's sinful is unequal treatment. That's not love. So stop saying you love the person. You don't actually love the person. You hate the person and you hate the action.
Sir. So look, you got me. So she doesn't. I agree with you. She doesn't have to say. She doesn't have to enforce it.
Duh.
But she has to go with it, even though it's against her religion. You got me.
Wait.
To go against with it for the
we have a freedom of religion.
No.
We have a separation of church and state.
She can be the freedom of her religion.
This is clearly too complex for you to understand.
Her religion, for the world, which is against the Bible.
Does the Bible? What does the Bible say about? What does the Bible say about killing? Do you think? Hold on. Do you think a Christian has ever served in politics? Do you think a Christian's ever been?
She can go against her religion. She can go.
You've already said this. You don't need to say this again. You already said this. I'll prove it right now. All right, sure, I'll prove it right now. Can you tell me really quick? Has a president ever? Is there a president in history that you think was?
Bro.
Are you gonna just steamroll because you're scared to let me talk? I'm asking you a question. Can you tell me a president? Tell me I'm not. I absolutely dismantled your argument on both sides of it.
Oh, you dismantled it.
Yes. You don't love people by saying that their sexuality is sinful. That's a fucking cop-out, and you don't understand the separation of church and state. So again, do you think there's ever been a president historically was truly Christian, who believed in true religious doctrine? Yes or no? Does the Bible say thou shalt not kill? Do presidents continuously order strikes on other countries that result in the death of human beings, which would be in what? Direct defiance of God. But they claim that they need to do it. Why?
Brother, listen.
Yeah. Don't call me brother. Your argument got dismantled, and you know it.
Okay.
No one's saying you're not entitled to your religious beliefs. You don't get to turn civil law for everyone else.
This is a competition between me and you, brother.
Okay. Do you think the Bible? Do you think the Bible supersedes the Constitution?
They're not going to save you, bro. They're not going to save you.
All right, man. God's not going to save you either, but you'll find that out when it's too late.
He's not saved. No,
he's not going to save you. He's not going to save you. He looks down on you for judging other sexuality. He looks down on you for judging other sexuality.
So you're
You
saying
don't.
she can go
You
against?
don't.
You're
People
saying
you
she can
love.
go
If you
against?
love
No,
someone, you don't
no, stop being
describe
a
their
hypocrite, brother.
loving
You're
relationship
complaining and
as
you're being a
something that
hypocrite.
needs
You're
to be
saying she can
condemned.
go against her
You
religion
don't tell
to
straight
glorify
people
the
that
U.S.
their relationships are acceptable, but gay people's are inherently sinful, and then say that you love them. Okay, that's called
You
unequal
don't
treatment. It doesn't
understand.
matter if you use a little soft tone when you say it. Like, notice how your tone got softer. Oh, I have a friend who's gay, but I do love him. I just hate his actions. No, saying that his relationships are inherently sinful is unequal treatment, and therefore you don't actually love him.
Unequal
You're
treatment. All right,
hateful,
bet.
and you're
So
everything Jesus didn't
I'm
stand
hateful.
for. You're going to hell,
Okay.
little bigot. Like, this isn't, I don't care whether or not you have your own religious beliefs. Number one, you don't get to turn it into civil law. But more importantly, the real issue here is, and Christians constantly do this, when you say, and it's something that really triggers me about people who believe in the Bible, they say, love the person, hate the action, right? Well, love doesn't come with any form of shame, right? You can't treat them unequally and then say you love
Call
them.
from
Carson Daniel.
Oh, hell no. That's a fucking fetus. Hell to the fuck no. Fetuses don't call in, fetuses.
Hello.
Hello, what's your name?
My name's Jacob. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Jacob. Can I call you Jake?
Yeah, you can call me Jay. You can call me Friendly Citizen if you would like.
I'm going to call you Jacob.
All right, thank you.
Go ahead, Jacob.
So, have you looked into Kamala Harris's time as a DA in California?
Sure. What's your point?
Are you aware that she was caught lying in court that resulted in thousands of people being placed in the custody of California State Penitentiary?
What did she lie about?
Well, it was numerous different things. She presented evidence that was falsified as truth in front of judges and courts. And in turn, many people were placed in custody of the prison system and or the local county jail.
Okay. So you're kind of exaggerating. So what you're talking about, what's your source, first of all? Let's just go there rather than just breaking down each individual.
Well, the U.S. Post talked about it at one point in time before she started running as president. During her campaign with Biden, they had ran the story.
Yeah, I'm aware of what you're talking about. You're talking about the Deborah Madden thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Can you provide your source?
I don't have it
because
on me.
The response was that Harris specifically was not made aware of this issue until it became public. But I'm wondering where you got that she was contacted personally, right? And then
I'm not sure that I said that she was contacted personally.
Well, you said she hid the evidence, right?
Well, yes.
Because that's not
there
true,
was
though.
a point in time where she said that it wasn't true that she never did that. That would be hiding the truth.
Harris didn't falsify evidence, is what I'm saying. So can you provide the claim that that's true?
Well, there are civil cases against her over it. You can.
Okay, so
I mean,
that doesn't make it true. Can you provide me the evidence of like the source of what you're talking about? Because I understand what you're saying about the lab employee that mishandled like the evidence, right? And then the prosecution didn't disclose that in a timely fashion, which yes can be considered a Brady violation, a disclosure violation in the court system. But that's not evidence that Harris personally falsified evidence. So you're basically exaggerating the claims. Okay.
I can grant you that you may be correct on that.
I think prosecutors do things like this all the time. It's not unusual, so I'm not shocked by it now.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be combative with you at all. I'm just trying to get down to the bottom of it. You say that Trump is bad for America?
Yes.
In what sense?
Donald Trump is as anti-American as it gets, constitutionally, specifically. We'll start there. Do you think Donald Trump believes in the Constitution?
I believe he believes in being self-made. Yeah, the Constitution, he swore an oath to it. So I would say that he believes in it. I'm not sure that me and you even believe in every word of the Constitution.
But the difference is whether or not I'm in a position of authority, right, and I'm deliberately ignoring previously established Supreme Court precedent to sign directives in violation of the law, right, or I'm, my policies are resulting in violating the constitutional rights of American citizens. For instance, start with executive orders. Donald Trump signs executive orders that he understands are constitutional, to criminalize constitutionally protected rights. So a good example of this is like burning the American flag. Burning the American flag is a constitutionally protected right. Donald Trump has signed executive orders in direct defiance of already established Supreme Court precedent in Texas v. Johnson in a deliberate attempt to criminalize American citizens for exercising forms of freedom of expression that have been deemed constitutionally protected by the Supreme Court.
So are you saying that before that law protected it, that it wasn't treason to burn the American flag?
What do you mean before that law? It wasn't treason.
At one point in time, it was a federal crime.
So do you know burning the American flag is actually a part of flag code?
Yes, but that didn't become that until I think it was like 65.
Okay, so you're under the assumption. What exactly is your point, I guess?
So my point is, you're saying that it's he's passing a law that says that you can't do that. At one point in time,
President doesn't sign law. Sir, this is very important, okay? Just so you understand this, okay? First of all, the president doesn't sign laws.
Okay,
the president doesn't pass laws. The president signs executive orders.
An executive order that can pass the law. I understand that.
An executive order is not a law or a bill that's going to be passed through Congress. It is a directive. That's all it is. It's not law in any way whatsoever. Okay, and number two, it was not treason to burn the American flag prior to Texas v. Johnson either. It was just a desecration charge, which is why Texas v. Johnson came to be in the Gary Lee Johnson case, right? Desecration of the American flag, right? It was a misdemeanor, but he burned the flag in a way that he knew would seriously offend observers for this purpose. He was then convicted of doing so, right? Now, you understand what treason is specifically, right? Treason has nothing.
It's a crime against your country.
No, you have to levy war against your country. You have to adhere to its enemies. Burning the flag would not fall under treason, okay? So, burning the American flag, right? Are you claiming that it should be criminal, and that's why you support the directive?
I'm not saying that it should be criminal at all. I'm saying if you buy it, it's yours. You should be able to do what you want with it.
Right.
But what I am saying is that not everything that is said for him that he has done has always been wrong.
Sir, here's the question. You're kind of getting off the point. The point is, do you think it is unconstitutional to sign directives in violation of already established Supreme Court precedent? What branch of government is responsible for interpreting the Constitution? Who specifically is responsible for interpreting the Constitution?
It should be the Supreme Court.
Okay, the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court, whose primary duty is to interpret the Constitution, says that burning the American flag is a form of free speech, okay, and is protected under the First Amendment, right? And therefore cannot be criminally prosecuted. And the president signs a directive ordering people to arrest American citizens who are exercising what is now a constitutionally protected right. Is that unconstitutional? Yes or no? The answer to the question is Yes, it is. And it's one of a million examples I can give. I'm just giving you this as a relatively easy way to understand how reckless he is when it comes to the Constitution and how it's been previously interpreted. But I can refer to specific incidents as well, policies resulting in constitutional rights violations, wars, and capturing foreign dictators, and things in violation of international law. I can point to a million different things illegal that Trump has done. But as it pertains to the Constitution, that's one example.
Okay, I'm following you here. I'm not here to be combative, like I said before. I'm here to understand what, like, so I still don't understand how you think he's worse than Kamala.
Well, I just stated for you that he was a fascist, so I mean, I don't think you can get much worse than that. I have disagreements with Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris supports U.S. foreign policy, so I'm obviously going to be opposed to anything Kamala Harris supports in terms of.
She also works with DEI, which is not good
before we get
anything.
there, sir. Before we get there, I won't want to escape the point of the conversation. You asked me, how is President Trump more dangerous? And I said he wants to dismantle our institutions. He does not believe in the Constitution. He doesn't believe in democracy. You asked me to give you an example, and I've only scratched the surface on his lack of respect for the Constitution. Would you like me to elaborate further?
I mean, we can have a conversation about it. Yeah, for sure.
Perfect. So let's talk about it. So do you think what ICE is doing? Do you think what ICE is doing specifically infringes on the rights of American citizens and undocumented immigrants?
Undocumented immigrants are they should all be deported. I do believe that, and I can tell you why if you would like. If you cross the border illegally, you do not have a right to be in this country.
Okay.
If you cross the border on a immigration pass that has a time limit and you overstay your time limit, you should be prosecuted to the fullest.
Guys, I'm going to start another gifting goal. I would appreciate supporting the gifting goal while I'm doing this. You can also support. I pinned my Venmo and Cash App if you guys do support the content. So, do you think undocumented immigrants have constitutional rights?
I don't believe they do because they have not adhered to the right or the things that would make them able.
Yeah, you would be wrong. So, undocumented immigrants have a right to due process, specifically. Are you familiar with the Fifth Amendment?
They absolutely do have a right to due process,
well,
and I believe
that's a constitutional right.
No, that's a
constitutional right, sir. It's the Fifth Amendment, right? The government shall not deprive whom of life, liberty, or property without due process of law.
Yeah. So we grant that as an American thing. That's not something that we have to adhere to.
It's a constitutional right guaranteed to everyone inside the United States, interpreted by the same Supreme Court.
Citizen.
It's not for every
citizen.
For
all United States citizens.
No. So let's do this real quick. Here, this is a good learning opportunity. I want you to look up real quick. Do you have a constitution?
Yeah, I can look one up real quick.
Okay, so real quick, let's look up the Fifth Amendment specifically. And you're going to see a part of the Fifth Amendment that says the government shall not deprive, right? And I want you to read that out loud.
Okay, so the Fifth Amendment.
The Fifth Amendment specifically, right?
It protects people from the unfair government power during legal.
Okay, but you're going to see a part that says no person shall be deprived life, liberty, or property without due process of law. And I want you to focus on a specific word, person. Person. You notice how it says person? Do you see that? Do you see that line?
Yes.
Okay. Does it say citizen or person?
It says person.
Right. So it is not specific to American citizens, as interpreted by the Supreme Court that you previously referenced and admitted is responsible legally for interpreting the Constitution, says that it is a right granted to everyone within the borders of the United States. If you are inside the United States, you have due process, okay? You have due process. No person applies to people, not only U.S. citizens. Life, right? Protection against unlawful government killing, liberty, right? Freedom from unjust detention. We don't want government intrusion just because someone is not a citizen.
They're illegally here. Which would make
it doesn't matter.
Which would make it legal for them to be arrested.
Misperception. Thank you so much, misperception. But it wouldn't eliminate their right to due process.
Yeah. So how many have been not granted due process?
Well,
so I'm pretty sure they built an entire prison in South Florida to house a lot, just so they can give them due process.
So first of all,
Alligator Alcatraz is not a thing that's built for immigrants.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to clarify that now you agree with me that they do have constitutional rights, which you didn't initially.
No, I said that they are going to get due process. I didn't say they have that right.
You said they didn't have a constitutional rights. And I said, yes, they do under the Fifth Amendment.
Set in place to protect Americans.
Sir, that is a constitutional right. You're still arguing this? You're not conceding? You were wrong. Just admit it.
No. So if you're not a citizen, how does the Constitution... So if I move to France right now, do I keep my constitutional rights as an American citizen, or do I have to adhere by the laws of that country?
So first of all, I want you to understand something. They don't have the same constitution.
Oh, I understand that.
Okay, sir,
That's not what I asked.
Sir. We have our own constitution, right? And we've decided that it's written in a way in which doesn't limit the rights of individuals based off their citizenship status in certain categories. We don't want, right, American citizens. We don't want the government to be able to just throw people in prison because they're not citizens of our country. We don't want the government to have the right to just, search someone unlawfully because they're not citizens of this country. We need to make sure that the government's power is limited even for people who aren't necessarily citizens, right? These protections are very important. Diane, thank you so much. Diane, Diane for the Venmo in chat. That's the only Venmo.
Yeah, everybody, please send this man some Venmo. Anything that you can.
That's the only Venmo I received tonight. Thank you so much, Diane. I really appreciate you, Diane. Thank you so much, Diane. So
yeah,
really,
guys, he's actually not wrong in what he's saying.
Can you hold on a second? That's fine. I just want you to hear me though. This is how you help me as you listen to me.
Okay.
Think about a country, right, where our government could arrest people and throw them in prison for the rest of their life because they didn't like them.
Well, that's tyranny,
right?
I'm pretty sure that's the reason why Americans have guns.
And what protects those? What protects our liberty?
We can stand up to a tyrannical government,
right? And what protects our liberty?
And didn't Biden and Kamala Harris say that they didn't want us having guns? No. They tried to take gun rights away from Americans?
Nope, not true.
Oh, if it had a magazine larger than 20,
you moved the goalpost.
They were saying that you needed to get another permit.
Joe Biden didn't attempt to take firearms from you in any way. Didn't pass any legislation. I don't know what you're referring to.
Well, he didn't pass any legislation the years that he was there.
To limit your right to firearms? No, but Donald Trump did. Donald Trump banned bump stocks, which was overturned by the Supreme Court and was deemed in violation of the Second Amendment. So, I mean, if you really want to get into it, didn't Donald Trump advocate for taking firearms before due process as well?
Not that I'm aware of.
He did. Donald Trump, in fact, still does to this day occasionally. It says that he would like to advocate for a system that takes firearms before any due process. He's talking about before red flag laws, before anything like that. I can literally play the clip for you. I don't know if you'll be able to.
Okay, I believe
play
you.
It? So, hold on, let me play it real quick.
I mean, you can play it. You can play it. Sure. Please do, because it's educational.
Sure.
Because I didn't know that he had been trying to take firearms from individuals. From what I had
Sir,
he
hold
was
on.
trying
I'm
to
going to put it up on
take
the screen.
firearms
Hold on,
to
sir. Hold on. Calm down. So I want you to pull up the live stream real quick, and I'm going to put it up on the screen, okay?
All right, give me just a second.
I'm going to mute you for a second while you watch this, okay?
Yes, please do.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Take the firearms first and then go to court. We have to do something very decisive. Number one, you can take the guns away immediately from people that you can judge easily are mentally ill, like this guy. You know, the police saw that he was the problem. They didn't take any guns away. Now, that could have been police.
Now, hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up, too. Hold on. I just want to do it quicker than this. Here.
In the possession or might take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system. Because a lot of times, by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place
Sorry,
in
I'll play
Florida.
it again. Here you go. Listen, here's Donald Trump here.
Or might take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system. Because a lot of times, by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida.
So there's Donald Trump advocating for taking firearms before due process. Most Republicans are in opposition to red flag laws, and red flag laws are not in violation of the Second Amendment because a judge still signs an order, so due process has still occurred. Yeah.
All right. So I'm pretty sure he said from these mentally ill, this man that was mentally ill.
Yeah, but he's saying take them before you go to court, regardless of whether or not. He said whether or not you can. Hold on, sir. He said whether or not sometimes you can easily tell. So what he's insinuating, right, is that police would make that determination. That would be the only people to make that interpretation, that determination rather, because it's not going in front of a judge. So that would, regardless, be in violation of your Second Amendment rights. Some due process has to occur. You can't take people's firearms because you've decided this person looks crazy. That's not how that works.
No, it's just because someone looks away, but you can judge if someone is in their right mental state by.
Who do you want to judge?
Who do I want to judge it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so a lot of police stations, I don't know if you know this, they have someone that's trained to deal with mentally ill people.
Police don't take your firearms. It has to go in front of a judge. A judge signs an order, okay, that then the police may be responsible for executing, but a judge signs an order. So, like, yes, in the case of red flag laws, the burden of proof is not very high. People get their guns taken away in cases where they really didn't do anything wrong. But unfortunately, it is a sacrifice we need to make because it's been very effective in reducing, homicide cases. So
it has.
So
for sure.
So like, there are plenty of people who, like, for instance, they'll, have a civil issue. Right, and those same laws fall under the civil umbrella in the family court system, and they will have their guns taken away for a period of a week or so, and then they will be returned to them. It's just a system that's in place. Normally, it works itself out, and they get them back, and it's not a problem. But still, due process has occurred because a judge has made that decision, right? Donald Trump's talking about a system that doesn't involve a judge's order, which would be in violation of the Second Amendment. Who would make the determination? Well, the only people there to do it would be the police in that case.
So some states already do this. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I do. It's called a red flag law. I just explained.
No, not just a red flag law either. So say I have a weapon, right? A firearm of any sort, and they catch me in public with it, and they deem that I don't need it at that time. They can confiscate your weapon and take it to the police station until you go get it.
Yes, if you're in violation of the law.
So
Yes.
you can be detained for 72 hours on suspicion.
Yeah, if you're in
commit a
violation
crime.
of the law. They
Suspicion
suspect you are
is
breaking
not.
But sir, that's different because they suspect
Is
you're breaking
suspicion
the
a
law.
crime?
That is a weapon being used in the commission of a crime. That's not the same as police deciding, hey, this guy looks crazy. Let's go in his home and take all his firearms because I think he's unwell. That's not the same thing, okay? You're talking about police suspecting that you've been responsible for committing a crime or you're actively committing crime and this weapon's being used in the commission of a crime. And so, yes, the weapon would be taken into evidence and you would be taken into custody. That's not the same thing. We're talking about weapons being taken without committing a crime.
Like they did in California?
I don't know what
Like they did
specifically
in-
you're referring to.
Like they did in New York? It's not even legal to own a handgun unless you get a specific license
If
in
you want to
certain
get
states.
into the details, right, and this is an extremely nuanced topic, okay, and each individual case is different, but
I didn't bring this topic up.
But I'm simply pointing out in all of those cases we're talking about the law, right? Donald Trump's talking about deciding, right, that somebody looks crazy and taking their weapons without any due process procedure. That's all I'm saying. These are different circumstances. You're trying to make it about something else. Anyway, the point is this, okay?
I'm
we're
sure
wasting
that
too
in the
much
clip,
time on this topic.
he even said a mentally ill person.
But he said
you
takes too long to
you
go
can't
to
ignore,
court. Sir, he said
you
it
can't
takes too long.
ignore part of the discussion just
he
because
said
it goes with your narrative.
It doesn't. You're not listening. I'm going to try one more time.
I have completely listened.
Sir, he specifically said it
Mentally
takes
ill.
too long to go to court.
Yes, it does.
So take the guns before. Let me play it again for everybody.
Yeah, take the guns of the
Or
mentally
like
ill
take the firearms
until
first
they
and
go
then
to
go
court.
to
How do you
to be
determine someone's
determined-
mentally ill before they go to court?
Can you not? So, have you ever met
tell
someone
me
that's
really
mentally
quick,
unwell?
Tell me real quick, who makes the determination that the person needs to surrender their firearms?
The person that sees them acting erratic.
So I can
or mentally
so I can
unstable.
call the cops and
So
say,
you can-
you're acting erratic, guys. Go inside his home and take his firearms, and the cops will kick your door down and take your firearms. That's all it takes?
So in certain states,
No
you
judge?
can just say that someone said something bad to you,
you're
and they can be arrested.
No, you're spreading. You're what you're doing is you're exaggerating now, and you're trying to
No, I can give you actual case
I don't
studies
care. It's
to
not
where
relevant to
I
what I'm
was
talking
taken
about,
to jail
sir.
because of someone else's statement.
Oh, so this
yes,
is
they
about a
can come
personal
get you.
incident with you. You got arrested.
No,
somewhere.
they can do this. They can hold you for 72 hours for suspicion of anything.
What did they suspect you were doing that you were held for 72 hours?
Oh, I wasn't. I was held for 1 hour, and they released me.
What they think you were doing?
Oh, I was misinterpreted as another man that had robbed a store.
You were
And
misinterpreted
citizen-
as another man who robbed
Yeah, they
a
thought I
store.
was someone else. They thought I was someone else, and they
That's
can hold you
not
for
the
that.
same thing as taking your confiscating your firearms before due process. Did you see a judge?
Oh, I never went.
Watch this. Did
No,
you see
I didn't see a judge.
Then how did they determine that you weren't the person?
Because they had photographs of the person.
So you should
and
sue.
when they
then.
put the
then you should
photograph,
sue. You have a case for a lawsuit.
Yes, I do.
Did you sue?
I'm in the process of it. That's the reason why I really didn't want to give my full
let
name.
me know how it works out, because that would be a lawsuit. If they arrested you and held you in custody because they thought you were someone else, that's a major lawsuit.
Yeah, and then
Especially
they can
if
also
they
just
infringe
say
on
that
your
it's,
rights.
yes, they detained me illegally.
And if they took
which
your
happens
firearm and did all
everywhere
this-
in America.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, they took my
That
firearm.
is
They
illegal.
confiscated
It's
my
called an
firearm
illegal
for
detainment, sir. It's called an illegal detainment. It's against the law. So you can sue them and you can win. People get major settlements for being
Yeah, I've already.
unlawfully
I've talked
detained.
to. I'd like to drop my lawyer's name in here if that's okay.
No, don't do that.
Okay. Okay. That's the reason why I asked beforehand.
Yeah.
But I'm already started the process and everything for this. I understand that it was an infringement on my civil rights.
It's a major.
That I have
it's
a right to.
violation.
I have a right to travel unmolested and not to be detained.
Okay. Now listen. Here's the thing. I got to run, but I want you to understand something. That's different than Trump implementing some kind of policy, right? That doesn't require due process before restricting someone access to their firearms. This is an unusual circumstance in which is a case of mistaken identity. That's not the same as what we're talking about, right? We're talking about these. It's called a false equivalency. These are not the same thing. So, but thank you for calling in. You can call a different time. I'm going to try and move on. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm not sure he was getting it, so I don't know how many times I can say the same thing. I'm trying to make the point, but those are two different things, my guy. I mean, they're literally two different things. Yeah, I'm gonna pop off, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for like 3 people that sent a super chat. Appreciate you. And thank you to Diane who sent the Venmo. Appreciate you, Diane. You guys went the furthest right that you could to authoritarian. Now you will get socialism. That's pretty much right, Mike. That's pretty much right. All right, folks. If you guys want to call, you can call in tomorrow. But I might do more of these late night fucking lives. They're fun. Big Hayes says you're a bad citizen. Shut up, Big Hayes, goofy ass muppet. CCP, thank you so much. Say goodnight in the chat. If you did enjoy the live, let me know. If you enjoy the late night lives, let me know. So who decides you're not mentally ill for taking Prozac for a week in 2012? What the fuck? Who decides you are not mentally ill for taking Prozac for a week in 2012? What the fuck does that mean, bro? Did you have some kind of personal issue in 2012 where you didn't take Prozac or something? I don't know, man. A lot of people make this about their personal issues. Like, guys, you're relating, like, I'm not saying your rights should be violated. I'm advocating for your rights. I don't think people should be able to infringe on your rights. But you have to be consistent, right? Even when it happens to people you disagree with ideologically, right? Charlie says, being a president is a horribly tough job. Most opinionated people have no clue. Well, I have quite a clue, right? I know quite a bit about it. So this is what I do. So I know all about it, and he's a terrible president. So love you guys. Appreciate you. Hope you enjoy. I kind of like the late. Do you guys kind of like the really late stream? I know, like, it doesn't get as much on the algorithm. Maybe I should advertise it more. Like, I'm going to do a super fucking late stream at like 11 p.m. to like 1 a.m. or something. And I bet you people fell asleep to this stream tonight. But what are you going to do? Viking, I don't even know what you're talking about, bro. I read the comments so quick. I don't even remember what you said or even know, dude. I recognize your name, so I must not have seen your name. But it happens, bro. I'm reading them so fast, so that's probably why. But guys, make sure you hit the follow button. If you don't hit the follow button, you're going to miss future lives. So go right over, hit that little follow button, and also consider hitting the join button. If you are a supporter, it does help me to become a member of the channel. You see people with the colored names, like green, and they have the badge next to their name, and I'm working on customized badges. You become a member of the channel, essentially, and you support, right? And you pick a tier, whichever one you want to do, and you get access to streams that I put on private, things like that. I'm thinking about even starting a couple members-only streams a month just to hang out and talk to people and stuff. But it really helps support the channel, and it helps support me not just on here, but on TikTok and all of the other platforms that I'm on. And I'm trying to build YouTube up to where we are on TikTok. I'd like to get to like 100,000 followers over here. And then have 2 platforms operating at the same time, because TikTok's really restricted and I don't really make any money on TikTok videos at all. So it's strictly off subscriptions and stuff. So if you guys do support the content, it matters a lot to me to become a member, to support in the link tree in my bio, all that stuff, because I do not, make anything other than on that. So I would appreciate the support. So take care, everybody. Love you guys. Have a wonderful night. Take care.